Howdy y'all, Grim here again. So it's been about a few months since I made the Gum Files video, and quite a few stuff has happened, stuff that I didn't expect, and that person is gonna be the primary focus of this video. And he is he is a person. So who I'm talking about is Woomy. He is currently Gumdrifter or Envy's boyfriend, and he has been the biggest white knight I have ever seen in human history. And I've seen the United States and Israel. Like, good God. I've. Words cannot explain how disappointed and how, like, horrifying this is for someone to be like this. So, I'm just gonna cut the bullshit and get straight into it. After I made the Gum Files video, it gained a lot of traction, which was very good because I want everybody to be aware of his actions. I did message the victim in question, well, who I thought was the victim, Woomy. First on Reddit, then on Discord. So my first DM was on Reddit and I got no response, which is why I made the video to try and see if I can get a message clear to him that, hey, Gum is a pedophile and you should stay away from him. But this turned into a huge, huge turn of events that I couldn't even expect. So I messaged him again on Discord, trying to reach out, and then he says that I was spreading a hate campaign, telling me to fuck off, and blocked me. So I was like, okay, he could be pissed because, he's a little bit under Gum's control, kind of, so I decided to give him a little bit of leeway. So a couple months passed, we haven't heard back from him, and then I found out Gumdrifter made this corpo ass statement on Twitter.com saying that he denies all the allegations towards him, sending my friend, who was the victim, into a state of a mental episode. I was completely enraged, so I decided to go against my own wishes of never making a Twitter again and decided to make an entire video just debunking his statements. After I made that, not only I ratioed him, but Woomy decided to go on a 8 hour long white knighting session. I wish I was joking. This man white knighted him so hard that he contradicted all of his own statements. He admitted that he was a pedophile and admitted, yeah, he did something messed up. So I don't know if he got so upset because later down the line, I met with a couple of other people, which names I'm not going to say for the sake of their privacy, but they knew a little bit more into Woomy's escapades, and they can confirm that he is not a victim, but he's also very much complicit. He was in a couple of servers in the Neptunia community where he pretended to be an adult when he was under the age. And Gumdrifter saw that, and he was praying for him even before he turned 18. So this dude was 16, and Gum decided he was going to take him to the park around here, as my terrible metaphor, but he decided to prey on him, and they kicked it off in 2023, I believe. And by the time Woomy was about 16 years old, so that is a huge red flag. And then he made multiple claims that he was an adult at the time that he met Gumdrifter or Envy, and it fell flat because if you connect the dates and if you connect his age, it wasn't really good. So he kept playing the denial game. Then he went into the bargaining phase where he says, yes, he is a pedophile. So what? All that stuff is 3 years ago. Why didn't the victim come out? Which is, I believe, is one of the most insane statements I've ever heard from anybody. So, Woomy, I know you're going to be watching this video, 100%. Do you know that actual victims takes years up to decades to come out with their POVs on the situation, their own stories because they're in fear of retaliation from their abuser? Do you not know that? Sure, there are some cases where those are fake. But a lot of those cases, that person is in fear of their life. You know what I mean? They're not gonna just go out and be like, oh yeah, he did it immediately after the fact that they got abused, because they're in fear of the person. So let me make that very fucking clear to you. I don't care if it takes 10 or 20 years for someone to come out. They're gonna come out and say something because they're in fear of their life. I do not care how long it takes. I'm gonna congratulate that person for coming out with their own story and being brave and exposing that individual. So, going on forward, he then tried to go on this movement on trying to get everybody to Gum Drifters or Envy side, but it started to fall apart because let's just say Envy's digital footprint is as big as Bigfoot's, and it's not as glamorous because the dude burned a lot of bridges. So don't be surprised if people are not going to take for his side because he's done horrible shit. So what he did next is that he deleted the original video. uh, he, he he reported the original video for privacy concerns, citing that his face wasn't for public use, although all the information we gathered was from his Twitter accounts and him sharing his images and photos with us. So how is this not public information? I really try to get into the brain on if this is private or not, or try and see he maybe what he was in the right, but no, fuck no, he's not. He shared all of this with us, and he's a dumbass for doing so. You should never share your info on the internet. You shouldn't share photos of yourself on the internet unless you really want to. So it's a case where he did share it, and when something bad happens, of course somebody is going to go back and trace it. And if so be the case, why do a lot of the other channels covering pedophiles and predators have the predator's face on full display with no censors? Riddle me that, Batman. So not only he reported my video, but then he made the dumbass decision to admit it on Twitter. I'm sorry for laughing so much, because how stupid can you be? Though you made yourself look really bad by reporting the video and getting it taken down, because it just proved our point. You don't want the information being put out, so you're going to do everything in your power to try and minimize the spread of this allegations, which are kind of now proven to be true because of what you're doing. And now you just admitted that, yes, I did do it. If that isn't the biggest caught your hand caught in the cookie jar, I don't know what is. So with that out of the way, it went a bit silent. We were going a bit back and forth, and I was trying to get more information on Woomy. And then Envy decided to try and contact us in our DMs, trying to minimize the situation. So I was like, okay, since Gum wants to try and minimize the situation, we might as well see what his side was, or how, we can come to a quote-unquote agreement, i.e., he goes to prison and actually takes accountability for his crimes. So, Gum wanted to talk to me when he should be talking to the victim in question, Kana. So, I said, alright, we're gonna make this fair. Since I tried to contact Woomy, I want Woomy one-on-one talk in a voice call so we can talk this out like men. But he didn't. He wanted to talk in text. And the reason why is because both of them were in the same room together, basically just feeding off each other's vibes. When I present the evidence, he decides to hit me with the, "Nuh-uh, it didn't happen," or "Nuh-uh, he was just affectionate." Really? Really? The evidence was clear as day, and you're rejecting it. And the worst part is, when I presented him with the fact that the UNI server was a thing, and said that, NV deleted it, and he was like, yeah, he did delete it, because he wasn't in there anymore. Dude, Isn't that a red flag that, you should be taking into account? Isn't that an elephant in the room that you should address why he deleted that server? Not for storage space or because he wasn't active in there anymore or the server wasn't active? Do you not ask yourself these questions when, the situation is involving pedophilia? Do you? So, it went back and forth with, like, stolen art and OCs when we provided the evidence, and he was just basically like put his thumb in his ears and hitting the la 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 la. I'm not taking it. I'm in my own echo chamber. So it wasn't getting anywhere. So I decided to call it there because it was like talking to a brick wall. He was so brainwashed by envy that when I try to reason with him, he was just completely ignoring it. He is completely blind to the fact that he's being taken advantage of, and it's sickening. So we recovered a couple of images from him and his friend and his quote unquote ex friends that he had, and it's honestly disturbing. It's the fact that he decided to defend a transphobe, and he is doing erotic role play with Gum, which allegedly was when he was a minor, and that is very, very concerning. So it's even more proof that, yes, Woomy, you did date Envy or Daniel when you were under the age. So, congratulations, you were groomed. Oh, by the way, remember in that Twitter argument you were mentioning the Romeo and Juliet law and thought Kana was a girl? So, newsflash, Kana isn't a female. And second of all, that law's existence is extremely questionable by our own government as well. So, congratulations. You're trying to support a pedophile under the Romeo and Juliet law. How does that make you feel that you're trying to defend your own boyfriend's actions because of some fucking law that doesn't even apply to someone because they aren't a female? That's just sickening, bro. I really do hope you take a step back and actually see the bigger picture that you are defending and supporting a pedophile and that you get the fuck away from him. But if not, and you still want to go on this whole, like, game on trying to defend him, trying to say that we're going on a smear campaign because, oh, it's something that he did 3 years ago. I'm sorry. My friend was being fucking groomed by a pedophile. I don't see how that's something minor that happened 3 years ago when it involved an actual felony. Like, are you kidding me, dog? You're defending a felon, an actual felon. But, oh, it's okay. He loves me. He's my boyfriend. Real men and real boyfriends and girlfriends actually call out their partners for what they're doing. And you should too. You should actually be a fucking man and question Envy or Gum about this. You should be a man and actually be like, hey, why is this happening? Why did you do this? Why are people saying this? Maybe you should actually talk to other people instead of white knighting your boyfriend. Think about it. Why is he going this far into trying to scrub all the evidence and actively silencing people, making enemies everywhere he goes? Actually think about it and then come back to me. Because as long as you keep on doing this, is the more I'm going to report this. And since you guys won't take accountability for yourselves, I think I know who can. I'm going to send an email to your parents. Because if I can't do it, I'm going to try and make sure that both of you are responsible outside the internet. So, try explaining that one to your parents. That you're defending a pedophile and you're boyfriends or in a relationship with a pedophile. I really hope if you go across the dinner table, this would be a really nice conversation for y'all. So, congratulations. You guys are fucking idiots. You guys are scumbags. And I really do hope that you open your eyes and actually see Envy and Gum for who he is. Him, quote-unquote, changing for the next 3 years is nothing when he goes around and tries to dismiss it, comes in our DMs to try and quote unquote reason with us, and then go on to make an apology and says, "Oh, we came to an agreement," when we clearly haven't. You fucking haven't. You're just trying to quote unquote move on and act if nothing happened. Oh, must have been the win. No, it wasn't the win, dog. You did this. You hurt a lot of people. You hurt my friends, you hurt Kana, and you hurt more people around you than just the Neptunia community and CarPG. So, both of you, go fuck yourselves. Genuinely go fuck yourselves. I really do hope that something comes and that you serve prison time or you actually get banned from the internet. That's all I have to say. See ya.